My dear friend, let me hit you with something real right now. Life might be tearing you apart. You're standing in the middle of a storm, aren't you? The kind that comes out of nowhere, shaking your foundation, stealing your breath, making you question if you're even strong enough to stand. Maybe it's the phone call that broke your heart, the betrayal that cut so deep you still feel the sting, or the struggle you prayed would never find you, but it did. What's your name? Where are you at right now? Are you sitting in a quiet room, heart heavy, wondering how you'll face tomorrow? Are you driving home, replaying that moment of pain over and over? God sees you right there in that hurt. He's calling you, whispering through the chaos, my child, this storm ain't your end, it's your beginning. Psalm chapter 34, verse 18, proclaims the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. So, stand up, my friend. Who are you becoming through this pain? God's got a purpose for you, and He's asking you to rise, not later, not when it feels safe, but right now. Let's walk through this together because your wounds don't define you. They're forging you into something unstoppable. There's a moment coming, maybe it's already here, when life hits you so hard you didn't see it coming. That call you never thought you'd get, the betrayal you couldn't have imagined, the struggle you begged God to spare you from, yet here it is staring you down. In that moment, your strength ain't about how loud you can shout. It's about how steady you can stand when the world around you is crumbling. Pain, it's got a way of knocking the air out of you, clouding your mind, making you feel like you're drowning. But hear me now, God didn't bring you this far to let you break. Your strength, the kind that's born in the fire of struggle, it's growing right now. It's growing when you've got every reason to quit, but you keep going. It's rising when your tears won't stop, but you wipe them away, lift your head and take another step. You're tired, I know, but you ain't finished. You feel broken, but you're not defeated. You've come too far, fought too hard to let this chapter tear down the story God's writing through you. The world might not see it yet, but God has planted a fire in you. No storm, no failure, no force can put it out. You're stronger than this moment, and it's time to remember who God created you to be. There's a time when you've shed every tear you thought you had left. You've sat in the quiet so long you can hear your own heartbeat pounding in the dark. In that stillness, God's asking you a question, what? Now that's when purpose starts to speak, not with a megaphone, not with flashing lights, but with a steady, quiet voice. Pain screams loud, but purpose, it whispers soft, and too many folks miss it because they're caught up in what broke them, forgetting the divine calling that drives them. You don't find strength just by pushing through. You find it when you stop asking, why me, Lord, and start asking, what now, God? Your purpose ain't crushed by your pain. It's uncovered in it. That very thing you thought was shattering you, God's using it to shape you for something greater than you can imagine. But you've got to anchor yourself to His plan, decide your life is worth more than your wounds. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11 states, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." What's your purpose, my friend? What's God calling you to do right now? Step into it, because your pain is preparing you for a divine assignment. Pain's got a loud voice, doesn't it? It tells you you're finished, stuck, not enough. It comes dressed up as shame, fear, regret, trying to pull you down. If you ain't got something bigger, God's purpose tied to your soul, you'll follow that pain right into the pit. But purpose leads to power. Right now you've got a choice to make. Will you let what broke you define you, or will you let God's grace refine you? Don't you dare let a temporary storm wipe out the eternal potential God placed in you. The enemy of your purpose ain't your weakness. It's forgetting why God called you in the first place. Real strength shines not when life's all sunshine, but when the storm hits and you're still standing, shaking maybe, but standing. God's saying, my child, I've got you. Your feet are on the rock. Who are you in this storm? Are you letting pain write your story, or are you letting God's purpose guide your pen? There'll be seasons when you're the only one who sees the vision God gave you. Days when even you start to doubt it. That's when you've got to remind yourself, this is bigger than how I feel today. Feelings come and go, pain fades, but God's purpose stands forever. It holds you up when motivation walks out the door. It keeps your head above water when your heart's sinking. You ain't waking up just to get by. You're waking up to become someone who leads, inspires, impacts. That takes grit, takes pain, takes nights alone. Tears nobody sees, battles nobody claps for. But it also brings peace, of fire in your soul, a clarity no comfort zone can touch. When you're anchored in God's purpose, life's winds can toss you, but they can't break you. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31 confirms those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. So what's keeping you grounded, my friend? Is it fear or is it faith? God's calling you to soar, answer Him. I know some of you are hurting deep. You're carrying a weight so heavy it feels like it's become part of you. But hear me, your pain ain't your identity. It's part of your story, but it's not the final chapter. Don't get so caught in yesterday's wounds that you miss the calling God's got on your tomorrow. If you stay stuck in what hurt you, you'll relive it every day. But if you anchor yourself in God's purpose and who He's shaping you to be, that pain becomes fuel. It drives you, not drowns you. Every scar you carry has value, not for what it took, but for what it taught you. If you're brave enough to look deeper, those scars ain't signs of weakness. They're proof you survived what tried to destroy you. That's God's strength in you. What do those scars say about you? Are they chains or are they testimonies God's telling you they're your victory? Claim it. When life cuts you deep, you've got two paths: bleed out in bitterness, or bandage that wound with belief. Belief in the future God's promised, belief in the purpose He's planted, belief that this moment ain't your final stop. You've been through too much to quit now. If nobody's told you today, let me say it, there's something inside you worth fighting for. You've got a gift of light, and even if it's flickering, it ain't out. It just needs your care, your protection. Don't let the darkness trick you into thinking your light's a lie. No, that darkness around you is proof your light's real and the enemy's trying to dim it. But God made you to shine. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 8 says, "For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord." Live as children of light. Who's seeing your light, my friend, who needs it right now? Step into God's glow and let it shine through you. People won't always get your path. Some will walk away when you're down. Some will mock the dreams God's put in your heart. Let them. Their approval ain't your purpose. Their acceptance ain't your anchor. Stop waiting for permission to live the life God called you to. The longer you wait for validation, the more power you give others over your peace. They didn't walk through your pain, didn't cry your tears, didn't pray your prayers. So why let them define what God says you can do? Your purpose was planted by God before you took your first breath. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5 declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you before you were born. I set you apart." If God set you apart, no one can uproot you unless you let them. Who's holding you back? Is it them or is it you? God's calling you to rise. Answer Him now. You've got to wake up every day and choose to remember who God says you are and who He's calling you to become. The hardest fight is between the broken version of you and the one God's birthing. You'll be tempted to shrink back, play it safe, numb the pain instead of facing it. But nothing grows in the comfort zone. God didn't make you for safety. He made you for purpose. When fear shows up, don't run, stand, breathe, fight. Not because you're fearless, but because God's purpose is bigger than your fear. That's where true strength starts, walking through the fear, trusting God's got you. What's scaring you right now? Name it. Then give it to God and keep moving. Your strength is growing in the fight. You might be scared, and that's okay. Be scared and keep going. Be unsure and take the next step. Just don't stop. Pain's gonna test you, ask you who you really are, strip away the fake and force you to face the real. That ain't punishment, it's preparation. Your next level won't come easy. It'll come through resistance, trials, moments that feel like they might break you. But don't mistake pressure for punishment. The pressure you're feeling is shaping the character, discipline, and fire God's building in you for tomorrow. Every purpose has a process, and most folks quit in the middle because they thought strength meant feeling good. No, strength means staying on God's path even when you feel empty, even when the fire's hot. That's where God's forming the new you. You can't skip it, you've got to walk through it. Romans chapter 5, verse 3-4 affirms suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. What's God shaping in you right now? Lean into His process. Purpose ain't passive. It don't just fall in your lap while you wait. It demands pursuit, presence, a mindset that says no matter what comes, I'm moving with God. That's strength, not loud, not flashy, just steady, just real. There's a quiet power in the person who won't quit, who bends but don't break, who's driven by God's meaning, not comfort or applause. That meaning keeps you rooted, keeps you alive when everything feels empty. If you've lost that fire, go back to your why. Go back to what God sparked in you before the world taught you to doubt. That fire's still there, it just needs your faith to burn again. What's your why, my friend? What's God whispering to you? Fan that flame and let it light your path. So when it gets dark and it will look that pain in the face and say you don't get the last word. Not today, not ever. I'll feel you, but I won't follow you. I'll carry the lessons, but not the shame. I'll bleed if I must cry if I need to, but I won't stop. I know who I am in God, and I know why I'm here. Every day you wake up, you're choosing to grow stronger. Every setback's just setting up your comeback. Every no clears the way for God's yes. Every delay is part of His divine design. You can shake me, but you can't shake me off God's purpose. I'm anchored. I'm rooted. I know who I am in Him, and that's enough. Psalm chapter 18, verse 2 proclaims, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer." Who's your rock? My friend, stand on Him and rise. There's a voice in you nobody else hears, and it's powerful not because it's always right, but because you believe it. It tells you who you are, what you're worth, what God's made possible. If you don't take the reins, it'll run you. It'll echo every fear, every criticism, every failure, replaying moments that broke you, shamed you, scarred you. If you're not careful, you'll live a story written by pain, not God's purpose. You can't let that inner voice go unchecked. You'll believe it, and what you believe, you'll live. Most folks are defeated not by what's around them, but by what's within. The real war's in your mind. If that voice is fed doubt, comparison, insecurity, shame, everything you touch will carry that weight. You'll block God's blessings, push away His love, dim your own greatness because you bought the lie you're not enough. But hear me, you ain't your thoughts. You're the soul God created to rise above them. You can challenge that voice, rewire it with God's truth. The way you talk to yourself is how you lead yourself. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7 states, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." What are you thinking, my friend? What's God saying about you? Speak His truth over your life. You keep dreaming of progress, but your mind drags you back to old pain. Every step forward, that voice reminds you of the last time you fell. Every time you start believing in God's plan, it pulls up old doubts, rejections, mistakes. You've got to talk back. Speak life when everything's screaming death. Look in the mirror and call yourself powerful even when you feel broken. Call yourself worthy even when the world says you're worthless. Your words shape your world starting inside. You don't need everyone to believe in you if you don't believe in God's plan for you. You can have all the support, praise, opportunities, and still stay stuck if that inner voice calls you a fraud. A failure says you'll never change. That voice ain't you. It's a broken record from a time you didn't know your worth in God, but now you do. So stop letting old lies write your new chapters. Take back your voice. Choose what lives in your mind. If it don't serve God's plan, strengthen you, build you, kick it out. No more rehearsing pain. No more replaying worst-case scenarios. Chapter 8, verse 36 declares, "If the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." What's holding you captive, my friend? Break free with God's truth. From today on, speak to yourself with the love, fire, and truth you'd give someone you cherish. I know it ain't easy. That inner critic's had the mick for years, became your default. Every time something went wrong, it said, "Told you so." But that critic ain't speaking God's truth. It's speaking familiarity, feeding off repetition. Anything repeated long enough feels real, even if it's a lie. But your mind, it's trainable. You can choose thoughts of victory, peace, strength, clarity. It might feel strange at first, your mind's fighting change. Push through. Be relentless. Your new voice won't come by accident. You build it word by word, prayer by prayer, truth by truth. Check the tone you use with yourself. Would you talk to your child, your best friend, your loved one like you talk to yourself? If not, something's off. You can't hate yourself into healing, bully yourself into progress, or shame yourself into greatness. You need love, encouragement, patience. Give that to yourself. Be kind in your thoughts, gentle in setbacks, fierce in self-respect. Let your inner voice be your coach, not your critic pushing you toward God's plan. James chapter 3, verse 5 confirms the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. What are you boasting about yourself? Speak God's greatness over your life. That don't mean lying to yourself. It means speaking God's whole truth, not just the pain. You've got flaws, sure, but you've got strength God gave you. You've made mistakes, but you've made it through by His grace. Your inner dialogue's either a prison or a passport. If it's chains, you'll stay locked in fear and hesitation. But if it's faith, you'll walk through doors God's opening. Shift that inner speech, and your world will follow. Folks wait their whole lives for circumstances to change, not seeing the keys in their mouth. Speak peace, walk in peace. Speak power, walk in authority. Speak forgiveness, and you'll be free from what they did to you. Your words are seeds. What are you planting in your mind's garden? Because what you water in your thoughts grows in your life. Sometimes you've got to get bold, loud inside. When that voice says, "You can't tell it, watch me," with God's strength. When it says you're not enough, say, "I'm chosen by God, capable becoming." When it says you're too late, declare, "I'm right on time for God's destiny." This ain't fake positivity. It's standing on God's truth so firm the devil can't shake it. You ain't a prisoner to old thoughts. You're the creator of a new mindset in Christ. Take the mick from the lies and give it to God's purpose. Speak with intention, conviction, the authority of someone who knows who they are in Him. Philippians chapter 4, verse 13 proclaims, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." What can you do with God's strength, my friend? Speak it and live it. You don't have to feel strong to speak strong. Sometimes the strength comes after the speaking. Life and death are in your tongue's power, starting with what you whisper in the quiet moments. Nobody sees when you're lying in bed, tears falling, staring at the ceiling, wondering how you'll make it another day. That's when your voice matters most. Say, "I'm down but not defeated. I'm tired but not done. I'm hurting but God's healing is coming." Keep saying it. Keep believing it. Keep breathing God's truth into your soul till it rises again. That's how warriors are built, word by word, choice by choice, moment by moment. If you want to stay strong in any storm, master the one place that's always with you, your mind. Win that battle and everything else lines up. When you speak God's life into yourself, no enemy can steal it. You become unshakable, untouchable, walking into chaos with God's calm, into storms with His peace, into doubt with His confidence, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger in Him. Your power has been there all along, waiting for your voice to match God's truth. Now use it. There are moments when your heart feels shattered into 1,000 pieces, when grief, betrayal, rejection, or failure weigh so heavy you can barely breathe. Showing up feels impossible. You want to vanish, hide, run from everything, even yourself. But those moments, they're where God shapes you. Not the easy days, not the victories, not the applause, the broken moments. Showing up while you're bleeding takes a strength that don't get medals, but it builds warriors God calls unstoppable. You don't wait to feel whole to move, you move anyway. You fight anyway. You rise anyway. There's power in standing when your soul wants to collapse, glory in facing the world when everything in you screams to shut it out. Don't believe brokenness makes you weak. No, It's proof you've lived, loved deep, dared to hope, fought real battles. Those scars, they mean you walked through fire with God's hand on you. You're still here, still breathing, still waking up when quitting would have been easier. That's extraordinary. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9 states, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Where's God's power shining in your weakness? Show up, my friend, and let it shine. You don't have to be perfect or have it all together. Just show up bruised, messy, hurting, but present. That's a revolution in a world telling you to stay silent in pain. Folks say, take time to heal, and yeah, rest is needed. But don't mix up healing with hiding, waiting, with quitting. Healing happens when you move. Get up, even if you're limping. Take the next step, even if your legs shake. Healing's intentional, not passive. Every time you show up broken, you tell your pain, you don't own me. You tell the storm, I'm still standing with God. You tell shame, you don't silence me. You tell fear, you can visit, but you don't stay. That's what showing up broken does. It reclaims your power in Christ. Some days it's a whisper, others a war cry. Either way, show up. You don't need to be whole to be worthy. The world wants you to think you need to look perfect, feel strong, smile all the time. That ain't strength, that's acting. Real strength is showing up real, walking in with tears still wet, working, loving, chasing God's dreams with a heart still mending. That's human. That's where God's power lives, not in polished moments, but in raw ones. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 declares, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." What burden are you carrying? Bring it to God and keep showing up. You're allowed to be shattered and strong in pieces and still moving with God's purpose. Don't underestimate the courage it takes to face life broken. It's easy to show up when things are good, but those who show up when it's falling apart, they're God's champions. Nobody may see no applause, no recognition, but God sees you, and your future self will thank you. Showing up broken teaches you what wholeness can't: the strength of your spirit, the size of your fight, the depth of your soul in Him. Stop waiting for perfect conditions or for the pain to pass. Say, this is me today, and I'm showing up with God anyway. That's freedom. That's healing. That's becoming. You ain't disqualified by brokenness. God's refining you through it. Those cracks in your soul, that's where His light gets in, where His grace pours through, where empathy's born. People who've walked through pain, tasted sorrow, carried disappointment, they change the world. They lead with compassion, understand struggle, connect without judging. Don't hide your brokenness. Don't wait to be perfect to live God's call. The world don't need another mask, it needs your realness, your courage, your story. Luke chapter 4, verse 18 proclaims, "He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted." Who's God binding up through you? Live your story and let it heal others. Brokenness don't mean you're done. It means you're human, and your story's still being written with God's fire, grit, and unwavering spirit. You've cried through nights nobody knew about, fought through days you didn't think you'd survive. Yet here you are, limping, scarred, exhausted, but here. That matters. That's God's resilience in you. Even if you feel you've got nothing left, every breath a battle, show up. One moment, one choice at a time. Show up for yourself, for your healing, for the future God's got your name on. You don't have to run or sprint, just don't stop. Crawl if you must, whisper if you can't shout, but keep showing up. Every step you take broken is a monument to God's strength in you. People will question why you're still trying, still believing, still pushing when life's beating you down. Let them talk, they ain't built like you. They don't carry God's vision for you. Don't hear the prayers you've cried, don't see the dreams you won't bury. Don't wait for their approval or permission. Keep showing up with your pain, your hope, your persistence. That persistence will birth a breakthrough. That pain will become purpose. That brokenness will be your testimony. God's been working all along. Isaiah chapter 61 verse 3 confirms to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes. What's God turning your ashes into? Keep showing up and find out. You're being rebuilt in the fire, molded in the chaos, strengthened through every tear, heartache, lonely night. As hard as it feels, this breaking ain't the end. It's the start of a new you, one who don't need others' opinions, don't need to prove nothing, walks with quiet confidence, forged in suffering, tested by time. That you is coming, but you meet them by showing up, especially when it hurts. Those who rise broken don't just survive, they inspire. They're a light for others in the dark. So keep going, my friend. Your breakthrough is born in persistence, not perfection. What's God calling you to persist through? Shine His light. There are moments when everything's crashing, the sky's black winds howl, nothing steady. That's the storm. Most folks wait it out, hide, pause their life, thinking they'll move when the sky's clear. But what if the storm don't pass soon? What if the rain keeps falling, the winds keep roaring? You can't sit on the sidelines of God's plan for you, waiting for peace to act. Growth don't come in the calm, it's born in chaos, built in pressure, carved in the storm. That pain, that fear, it ain't your enemy, it's your teacher. God's using that storm to show you a version of yourself you ain't met yet. But you won't meet them if you stay frozen, waiting for comfort. Grow in it, not around it, not after it, in it. Every strong tree survived violent storms. Roots go deep because they had to. Bark thickens because it needed to. Branches reach for the sky, even battered by wind, broken by lightning. That's you, God's tree. This storm ain't here to destroy you, it's deepening you. Psalm chapter 1 verse 3 declares that person is like a tree planted by streams of water, yielding fruit in season. What fruits? God growing in you. Stand firm and let it grow. You grow strength by staying in the battle, resilience by standing while it hurts, wisdom by rising after every fall. Don't wait for the storm to pass or for perfect timing. Stop waiting for folks to get you, for the world to calm down before chasing God's call. Life won't hand you that, you've got to take it. Claim your next level. Dig deep, even as the winds howl. Pressure ain't punishment, it's preparation. Diamonds form under pressure, steel's forged in fire, characters shaped in storms. You might wonder why now, God, why this? The answer ain't always clear in the mess, but later you'll see that storm taught you to pray harder, love deeper, fight smarter, value peace, walk away from what ain't growing you. It showed you who's real, what's necessary, who God's calling you to be. Storms reveal, they tear down weak foundations, but they water what you've planted, cleanse, create new soil. You ain't being buried, you're being planted. The highest risers ain't those with smooth roads. They're the ones who walk through fire with God keeping their soul intact. Romans chapter 8 verse 28 states, all things work together for good to those who love God. What good's God working in your storm? Trust His plan and rise. You can't become who God made you without hardship. The world may not see your fight, but you don't need a crowd to grow, just persistence. Focus, the boldness to build in the rain, sow seeds in the mud, trust God's turning chaos into strength. That's where leaders are born, in pressure, not peace. Faith's easy when the sun's out, motivation's simple when life's good. But mountain-moving faith, that's forged in the storm, when you've got every reason to quit, but don't when it makes no sense to keep going. But you do when your heart's heavy, mind's tired, yet you rise. That's God's power. That's His purpose. That's proof you're walking in destiny. The storm don't cancel your calling, it confirms it, tests your readiness, shakes off what can't go to the next level. Stop praying for the storm to leave. Pray for God's strength to grow through it. Let it teach you, mold you, shape you into the warrior God made you to be. There's a you on the other side of this storm who walks with God's authority. Don't shrink. Don't fear rejection. Don't doubt their voice. That you comes from facing the storm and saying you picked the wrong one. Don't waste this storm's lessons. Face it. Lean into it. Let it grow you till you're unrecognizable, to the you who begged for comfort. Storms pass, but who you become in them lasts forever. Isaiah chapter 43 verse 2 proclaims, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. Who's with you in this storm walk with God and rise? There's a difference between breathing and living, surviving and rising. Too many are just making it through, checking boxes, calling it life. But you weren't born to just survive. You were made to shine with God's glory. There's power in you the world ain't seen, greatness buried under fear, fatigue, wounds. That greatness is screaming, let me rise. Rising ain't comfortable. It means leaving survival mode, refusing to let trauma define you, saying, I've been through hell, but this ain't where God's story for me ends. That's rising, not perfection, but presence, purpose, waking up and saying, today I'm stepping toward who God made me. You've survived heartbreak, betrayal, loss, things that should have broken you. Don't overlook that. You made it through by God's grace. That's evidence of His strength, even if you didn't feel it. Survival step one, catching your breath. But now decide, will you rebuild, rise, grow, or keep reliving pain because it's familiar? Some folks get hooked on surviving, wearing it like a badge. Stay there too long and you miss God's blessing of becoming more. The life God's got for you is on the other side of that door. Psalm chapter 30, verse 5 declares, weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. What's God turning your night into step toward His morning? Survival feels safe, like control, head down. Don't risk, don't feel, don't get hurt. But you miss love, purpose, joy, the you that thrives, dares, dreams, fights for God's deeper call. You weren't made to be numb. You're made for His glory. To get there, confront the lies survival taught you, that staying small, safe risks, dangerous dreamings, pointless hopes, naive. Tell those lies not anymore. You're not a prisoner of your past, you're a product of God's power, the kind that comes from walking through fire and rising anyway. Some come out of storms glowing wiser, softer, sharper. That ain't luck, it's God's intention. They let pain shape them, not shatter them. Said, if I'm breathing, I'm building with God. You've got that in you. The world tried to tell you survival's all you get, that healing's impossible, peace is for others. But your future ain't canceled because your past hurt. Rewrite the script. Turn the page. Become who God's calling, not despite pain, but because of it. Don't let pain be your ceiling, let it be your floor, the foundation God builds your higher life on. Romans chapter 15, verse 13 states, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him. What hope's God filling you with? Build on it. Survival mode makes you expect the worst, brace for heartbreak, sabotage opportunities because you feel unworthy, push people away, fearing they'll leave. That's not living, that's preparing to lose. And if you keep preparing to lose, you'll never win. Retrain your soul to believe God's truth, that you ain't cursed, your best chapters are unwritten. You're not too old, too late, too damaged, you're just starting in Him. Starting takes courage, one step without all the answers, forgiving yourself, releasing the broken you. Survival kept you breathing, now live for God. Rising don't mean you never fall, cry, doubt, struggle. It means you get up anyway, fight for God's joy, peace, purpose. When life tries to bury you, push through the soil to His light. Your scars prove you healed, endured, chose to continue. Don't hide them, use them. Let them fuel your next chapter, inspire someone else to rise. You're not just a survivor, you're God's teacher, light warrior. Don't forget who He says you are. Life's heavy, but it ain't hopeless. You're carrying weight, and God's turning it into strength. Every day's a chance to shift from surviving to rising. Ask yourself, am I just getting by, or am I becoming who God made me? Are my habits aligned with His healing, or am I staying small to avoid disappointment? Step out in faith, even when it's scary. Those questions change lives. Don't build a life out of fear, build it on God's faith. That's your calling, and it's for you. Philippians chapter 1, verse 6 confirms, He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. What work's God completing in you? Rise to it. You don't come out of life untouched. Betrayal, heartbreak, loss, failure, trauma, they cut deep, leave scars. Some hide their scars, numb them, pretend they don't exist. That ain't strength, that's denial, keeping you locked in a cage built by pain. But your scars ain't your shame, they're your proof, your story saying, I've been through something, but God got me out. I healed. I moved forward. That's God's power, His legacy in you. They ain't ugly, they're divine tattoos of survival, grace, redemption. Don't let the world shame you into silence or tell you your past disqualifies you. What you thought broke you is building you. Let your scars speak not of pain, but of God's purpose, not of wounds, but of His wisdom, not of loss, but of life. Every scar's a story, you decide what it tells. Some carry scars like burdens, replaying hurt, letting it haunt their mind, control relationships, steal peace. But warriors, they turn scars into a message, a mission, a movement saying this happened, but it didn't kill me. It don't own me. It won't define me. That's the difference. Pain can paralyze or propel you. It's your choice. Don't forget the hurt, but don't let it define you. Decide, will you keep bleeding or lead with God's strength? Will you stay bound to the moment you broke or rise unbreakable? That scar in your heart's sacred. It don't bleed no more. It's a story someone needs. Someone's drowning in pain you swam through. They need to know joy can return. You're their evidence. John chapter 16 verse 33 declares, in this world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world. What's God overcoming through you be the evidence. Your story matters. Your scars matter. You're someone's light in the dark, proof tragedy ain't the end. Stop hiding the hurt. Look it in the face and say, you made me wiser, stronger, me in God. That's where shame loses its grip, where freedom starts. Your scars only control you if you pretend they ain't there. Some scars are fresh, still sting. You might not know how to talk about them. That's okay, healing's a process, not a show. Cry, sit in the pain, but don't stay there. You don't owe pain a home, you owe yourself growth. The world broke you, but healing's your rebellion, your victory. Say this ain't the end of me and step into God's power. Your scars don't whisper weakness, they shout, you're still here. You don't need all the answers, just one choice. I won't be shackled to what tried to destroy me. I'm God's vessel for strength. Let your scars tell your story. Stop hiding, stop pretending. Show up real, vulnerable. That's where connection starts. People don't relate to success, they relate to struggle, to knowing you get their pain. Your scars build trust, say I've been broken too, but I ain't ashamed. That honesty changes lives, breaks cycles, inspires truth. So many wear masks to fit in, but healing starts when the mask comes off, when you say, this is me, what I've lived, how I rise with God. That's courage, authenticity, power, freeing you and those around you. Silence empowers shame, but speaking takes its weapon. Say, I won't be bullied by my past. Your scars become sacred symbols of transformation. The devil can't use what you ain't ashamed of. Speak right, share, create, turn your scars into art, service, God's purpose. That's what the great ones do. They don't stay bitter, they build. Don't stay stuck, they rise. Don't wait to be healed to help others. Use what you've got as you are and trust God's purpose meets you there. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 10 states, the God of all grace who called you to His eternal glory in Christ will Himself restore you. What's God restoring in you? Turn your pain into His purpose. You weren't made to be perfect. You were made to be real. Real people bleed, break, but also rebuild, rise, evolve. Don't try to erase your past, embrace it, own it, use it. The you that made it through the darkest days has strength no book can teach, insight only pain can earn. Stop apologizing for what you've been through. Stop shrinking so others don't feel uneasy. You didn't survive to play small. You survived to walk in God's power, to let your life speak. Show your scars and say, here, this is where I almost gave up, but God held me. That's not weakness, that's legacy, the story your soul came to tell. If your scars could talk, what would they say? The moments you held on the nights you woke up anyway. The times you trusted after betrayal, they carry God's truth, His power. When you see them as holy, everything shifts. You stop hiding, apologizing, start living bold, beautiful. You stand taller, love deeper, give more grace. Those who've been through hell and healed love different, see different, lead different. They're unstoppable. Nothing the world throws can unmake what God's made you. You're worthy, chosen, called. Every messy part of your story has a place in His purpose. You're here on assignment, turning pain into power, past into purpose, scars into strength. Be willing, rise, heal, speak, walk forward with scars. They ain't chains, they're testimonies, wings when you carry them right. Revelation chapter 12, verse 11 declares they triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. What's your testimony? Let it soar. My friend, if you've made it this far, I know you've felt the weight of this journey. You've carried burdens nobody saw, fought battles nobody clapped for, woke up when hope felt gone, strength felt like a lie. But you showed up, breathed, pressed forward. That's God's warrior in you. Now it's time to go beyond surviving, rise into the you the world needs, the one God designed. Not shaped by fear or rejection, not chained by survival, but burning with His purpose. You weren't made to just exist, you were created to light up valleys, shake mountains, make darkness tremble. That fire's in you, waiting for your faith to ignite it. No matter how broken you feel, how much you've lost, who walked away, you've got the power to show up, choose growth, speak life, surround yourself with those who lift you to God. Rewrite your story, look at your pain and say, you're not my end, you're my beginning in Christ. Drop an amen in the comments if this hit your soul. Share your story. What's the scar God's turning into strength? Who needs to hear this message? Tag them, share this. Let's build a community of warriors rising together. Subscribe for more. Pray for someone today and keep rising. Your legacy's being written. Make it shine with God's glory. God bless you.